In Unforgiven, a legendary star plays a classic figure of American myth, American movies, a good bad man of the West named Will Money. It is a major effort, a project Clint Eastwood has nurtured for over a decade. He brings to it the authority acquired in 36 starring roles, among them the mysterious stranger of Pale Rider. Besides starring in it, Eastwood also directed Unforgiven, as he did The Outlaw Josie Wales and 14 other movies. Unforgiven was shot in the fall of 1991. As he always does, Eastwood made the film entirely on location. It's in that line of serious work that includes films like Honky Tonk Man, different, risky, an expression of Eastwood's own interests and values. It has enough action to satisfy Dirty Harry's fans. But it also has the quirky originality of one of his favorite productions, Bronco Billy. Unforgiven was not an easy film to make.
Because you're going down the floor, let another one off into the floor. Come on, Mark. Mark.
Directing and acting is a relentless and exhausting business.
Just gone down there. Get him. Action.
Eastwood hints this is the last time he will attempt both roles.
Rolling. Action. Okay. Take that.
I wanted to direct, dating back to the Rawhide days. That's when I first got kind of the interest in it. All my spare time, I'd usually go down to sets and watch people work, and I'd watch different directors work, and you got to see all sides of it. And when you saw the things that impressed you, you remember and you use yourself, and the things that don't impress you, you discard.
It was the beginning of his involvement with westerns, but he was frustrated by the roles television offered him.
He got it on the right hand. He's the one who's lucky. But your luck won't last. The day that bandage comes off. When's that gonna be, Doc? Well, it'll take at least a week. The doc says a week, huh? Well, I'm not a bloodthirsty man, Mr. Maverick. I'll give you till Monday. Your hand better be well by then.
I've never thought of myself as a leading man, though I guess at one time I was considered one. I mean, somewhere I went through the whole deal of being one of the young guys bopping around town on television series back in the 50s and 60s, but I never considered myself that. I always tried to be a character actor even then.
Sergio Leone, an Italian director making westerns in Spain, gave him a great and enigmatic character to play, the man with no name. Visually bold, blackly humorous, these spaghetti westerns reinvented the genre. Their popularity made Eastwood a star. Stardom would eventually guarantee his right to direct. It was Dirty Harry in 1971 that made him a superstar. It established the tough screen image he has never completely escaped. It was the fourth of Eastwood's 5 films with director Don Siegel. Unforgiven is dedicated to him and to Leone. Eastwood's style and working methods owe much to both men.
Don was a guy who could get a lot of film, a lot on film with very little in the way of budgets. And by watching him, I tried to grab that. Now, I don't shoot quite as lean as Don, but at the same token, Don was a guy who knew exactly, he had to plan everything. He knew exactly what was going to be shot, and he would do no more.
This is Dirty Harry's crucial scene. Though many critics did not realize it at the time, Eastwood is acting, playing a character.
I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 6 shots or only 5? Well, to tell you the truth, in all this excitement, I've kind of lost track myself. But being this is a .44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world, and would blow your head clean off, you've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Hey. I got to know.
Over the years, there were 4 Dirty Harry sequels. All of them were popular. All of them featured highly imaginative action sequences. The last of them, The Deadpool, often satirized the conventions of the cop thriller, never more cleverly than in this send-up of the standard car chase. Eastwood admits he's had trouble blasting free of his most famous character.
Well, it dogged me for a while, and partly my fault because I did sequels to the project when I found a character that I thought was interesting and somewhat controversial, but I decided to go ahead and do sequels to it. And so that, and some of the subsequent sequels had lines like "Go ahead and make my day" and things that kind of carried on as trademarks for me. But I'm getting, you do get to the point where you say, wait a second, I can only go so far with that character, and I've done a lot of other characters too. I've done a lot of other characters equally successful in other ways.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bronco Billy McCoy and his horse, Buster!
This is a role and a directorial project he looks back on with great affection.
Miss Lily, would you like a blindfold?
Oh, no, Bronco Billy, for you most certainly are the finest marksman in all the West.
Very well. But I will wear one.
Must you, Bronco Billy?
It was a naive picture, but it was a sweet story, and naive story, and it reminded me very much of a Capra film. If Capra was still directing films when that came along, I assume that's the kind of thing he might have done, and I wanted to do my Capra film.
Have you ever been married?
Sure. Long time ago.
Did you love her?
With all my heart. Sometimes that just isn't enough.
What happened?
I caught her in bed with my best friend.
And what did you do to him?
I shot her.
What? What about him?
He was my best friend.
Bronco Billy was terribly loyal. He had great virtues, even though he was a man in modern-day society, and that, though he had obviously, his brain had snapped and he'd gone into another era.
Throw your arms around this honky-tonk man.
Honky Tonk Man is also about a man from another era. Co-starring Eastwood's son Kyle, it's a sweet evocation of 1930s America and an elegy for an American dreamer, a wandering country singer named Red Stovall, who almost makes it to the Grand Ole Opry.
Well, I've never seen you look quite so sad, and I've never felt me feel quite so bad, and I know we both feel that we have been had. Well, I guess they were just not that strong. So I lost my woman and you lost lost your man, and who knows who's right or who's wrong. But I've got my guitar, and I've got a plan. Throw your arms around this honky-tonk man. Throw your arms around this honky-tonk man, and we'll get through this night the best way we can.
Red is a dying man, a man who has wasted too many years, too many opportunities. But playing him was an opportunity Eastwood found irresistible. He trusts chance and instincts he refuses to analyze or explain.
As far as choosing material, a lot of times it's been whimsical, sometimes successfully, sometimes not so. But by and large, I've been lucky in the order, to quote Way of Money. I just sometimes, a good thing comes my way.
The Outlaw Josie Wales, which he made in 1976, was one of those good things. It is the most epic of his westerns, large in scale and ambition. Josie Wales is a man wronged, constantly caught in conflicts not of his making.
He's out in the spacious, huge area of mid-America. He can't quite find that reclusive life that he wants, and just to be left alone.
I'm looking for Josie Wales.
That'd be me.
You're wanted, Wales.
You a bounty hunter?
Yeah, he's got to do something for a living these days.
Dying ain't much of a living, boy.
So that was a different kind of thing, more of an epic thing, but I liked the saga of it, the movement of it, the traveling of it. It was one of my favorite films that I've done.
Bird is another Eastwood favorite, and another profoundly ambitious film. Reflecting the director's lifelong passion for modern jazz, it is the biography of the great performer-composer Charlie Parker. It is a dark tale, coolly told, a tragedy related in sympathetic yet unsentimental terms.
Forrest? Will you come here for a second? Ride him over. Come on, pony, go. All right. Send him on down here. Okay. Just pull right in, a little more. Come here, Thunder. Oops. Ooh. As she's saying Vilma Blankley and the swoon thing, just nudge it.
Bird is an expression of the director's romantic regard for Parker's music and the era in which he created it. It is also touched by the childlike spirit of its subject. Above all, it reflects Eastwood's growing skill as a director. There was nothing accidental about Eastwood's involvement with Bird. He lavished care and years of development on the project. In that sense, it prefigures the mature filmmaking gifts and patient spirit he brought to Unforgiven.
Because it's about a guy who's been somewhat retired from what he did for some time and then goes back to it. I thought that age would be a benefit to that particular character rather than so I didn't think there was any problem with it. It was something I could sit on a bank, and I kind of hung on to it like a nice little gold watch and rubbed it or something. It was nice and kind of a nice feeling to know that I had it back there.
You'd be William Munny out of Missouri. Kill women and children.
That's right. I've killed women and children. Killed just about everything that walks or crawled at one time or another. And I'm here to kill you, Little Bill. For what you did to Ned. boys better move away.
Unforgiven is finally less a study in violence than an ironic meditation on its costs.
Well, Willie, you killed 5 men, single-handed.
I was lucky in the order. But I've always been lucky when it comes to killing folks.